Greetings, beloved viewer out there. Happy New Year to you. The year has just begun, and it's not too late to say Happy New Year. We want to thank the Lord for a new year and for the fact that He has protected us so far. And we are back as a Youth Voice show here on Hope Channel, Uganda. Now, as we start the new year, it's also very important to rearm ourselves with critical information to help us survive here and there. And especially as young people, as we get to grow, it is very important that we get to know about a number of things that perhaps will help us to navigate life, that we don't go through life blindly. And one of those very important aspects that we have to look at is the legal aspect. And so today on the conversation, we are going to be discussing basic legal information that everyone must be armed with. And hosting this conversation, my name is Edison Masereka. I am a teacher, I am a leader, and a public speaker. And on this conversation, and to help us unpack this discussion, I am having two gentlemen and a lady. The two gentlemen are both lawyers, and the lady is a health worker. I told her off camera that she's here to reduce the potency of the conversation, to reduce the concentration, because if we only had lawyers, perhaps I would personally get overwhelmed with legal jargon and that. So to help reduce that, I brought her on board so that she can help me to bring down the potency of the legal jargons we're going to be having on the conversation. On my immediate right here, I'm having my very good brother and friend, Counsel Macbeth Otim. He's a lawyer and an advocate. Macbeth, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and then right on the other side, on the extreme, I am having my very good brother and friend, Mr. Onesmus Akankwata. Akankwata, yes. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Edison.
You are still training, right?
I'm done with my bachelor's, though not yet with LDC.
Okay.
So I'm not a practicing advocate.
You graduated?
Pending.
Graduation is pending, so it's very soon, eh? And you're waiting also to enroll for the bar.
Yeah, but meanwhile I'll be enrolling for masters as soon as
enrolling for masters
this month.
In law related, which?
International law.
International law.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So Macbeth, to be called an advocate, one must have done the bar.
Yes, you've done the bar and equally enrolled. With Law Council and High Court.
And the High Court. So you're an advocate of the High Court.
Exactly.
Oh, wonderful. Pleasure having you. And then I'm having my very good friend. Don't worry, I'll not forget about you.
She's a health advocate.
Caroline? Yes, she's a health advocate.
Yes.
She's a public health worker.
Yes.
I'm glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much.
And maybe the other reason why we have you here is because you interact with common people, everyday people.
Yes.
And perhaps you know some of the challenges they go through in terms of these things. I mean, you're in the health sector. You could have someone maybe signing an insurance contract, and it's a bad one. Their money is taken in something like that. So perhaps knowing some of these things can help us on how we can be able to help our people out there. Now, in most cases, when it comes to law, and legal, everything to do with the law and that, we only remember when we are maybe having challenges, especially here in Africa and Uganda in particular. A family will remember about getting a lawyer when they have trouble, maybe with executing a will, maybe with the estate, maybe with contracts here and there, maybe when the tenant is having issues, when a landlord is having issues with their tenants, that's when they remember to think of a lawyer. Even us, young people, when we are seeking employment, we only think about seeking legal advice when our contracts have been terminated, and then you're looking for the legal basis of whatever it is that is happening to you. And you want compensation.
Now money.
Yes, but now we want to know, before things go south, what are those basics in law and in the legal sector that we can arm ourselves with, that perhaps we are not caught off guard when it's too late? Issues to do with our rights. When you don't know your rights, you're going to be taken advantage of and manipulated. Maybe you're working overtime. Maybe you're working and it's not being compensated or something like that. It's not being, your contract is breached. Out of nowhere, you're being laid off, no compensation whatsoever, no notice. How do we overcome all those different things as young people? And so that's why I want us to begin with a conversation, and I'll start with you, the lawyers, before I bring in my own questions. What are those basics that you think we have to know to start with? And why should we have this? Why should we have basic legal knowledge anyway? I'll start with you, Onesmus.
Thank you, Edison. You spoke about now the rights. Before doing a Bachelor of Laws, I first did a diploma in a land-related issue there at the Institute of Surveys, where they train surveyors and the rest.
But also on that note, recently I was at this space, and this one gentleman introduced themselves as a surveyor. And the person seated next to me tapped on me like, those are the guys with money. Why? What was your motivation for leaving surveying for law? Yet surveying seems to be also quite a lucrative one.
It's a marketable one.
It's a marketable course. I wouldn't refuse that. After my diploma, we had to enter into the working spaces and the rest. And that was when I realized now a lot of dirty is in the surveying world. And also, we had a fiscal planning thing that we were working on, moving a building plan and the rest. And when things jammed in building the house, getting a lawyer was specialized in construction law, something that also took us some good money. And then in the end, we also lost the case. So I realized, well, I'm in this space, but I can't go to the bush forever. You know, surveyors mainly going to the field and the boundary plans and the rest. I'm like, I saw a registrar of lands when I moved to the Ministry of Lands, and he seemed to be earning smart money. So I asked him, what are you doing? What did you do actually? He told me I did a Bachelor of Laws, I did all this and the rest. So my passion now began growing from there. We had a land case that took us some good years actually. I found the case there where I was working and left the case still on. So I'm like, if I could be a judge perhaps one day in the land sector, I would save millions and the rest.
There is actually a famous story of a Ugandan young man. Their family lost their land to some rich people, I think, when he was young. And this boy grew up to study law, and he had the case reopened, and he won back his family land.
So people have various reasons as why they came to pursue that bachelor's. I don't know what Council team has, but it's coming out to the rights you spoke about. They're really fundamental rights. These rights are not state given. We inherit these rights. And we look at our constitution that people should get time and go through. Chapter 4 brings unto us fundamental rights. It's purely on rights that people should be well equipped up with. We also have other statutes that provide for the rights. You spoke about the working things and the rest. We have the Employment Act and the rest that provides for them. But chapter 4 of the Constitution brings various rights that are kind of many. We may not go through every right, but there are those key ones that at least you should be knowing. The fair hearing, which is at 228. People today are chased from their place of employment, and you just wake up one day on a phone call. We've sacked you. Don't come back tomorrow. No reason, nothing. You don't know why they've sacked you. You just hear a phone call. They've sacked you. The fundamental rights that like right to life, no one should be taken out of their their life, with exceptions, court and what the law provides in the penal code when the mother is giving birth. Other rights like slavery, the law is against slavery, cruel and inhuman torture that degrades the state of a person. So this kind of right is also non-derogable. What Council team spoke about it earlier on, non-derogable is it can't be taken away. It's there, and it's not even debatable. We have other various rights there. Right to a clean environment, education, rights of women are enshrined in Article 33 and 34, and others. So there are fundamental rights that people need to be well equipped up with. If each person could acquire a constitution, at least for the start, look at chapter 4. From Article 20 to around Article, I think it should be around 50 around. Go through them. As a person, they're going to first of all help you know your rights. Know that, okay, Article 29 provides for freedom of expression, expressing myself in a good way. Now, people are misusing that.
Does it also provide for freedom after expression?
There's that saying that you have a right to everything that you want to say, but what you don't have is the right after you've made the statement.
It's true. It's true. Actually, it's a good one, even us in the Christian spaces. Article 29, it's one that gives us even the freedom of our religion and also assembling. People have a right to assemble and strike in an organized manner, as long as it's following what the law provides in the Public Order Management Act. So various rights are enshrined in Chapter 4 that I would first of all request our viewers out there to...
What of those ones who cannot access the Constitution?
Now those who can... This material is online.
What if I don't have a phone?
It's online.
Because
and I think it's a book. It's in every library.
No, I'm speaking in a perspective of someone in my village who does not have access to a smartphone. They don't have electricity. Language barrier. Those things are in English. They cannot read.
But has our constitution been translated?
Yes. There's a clause. There's a clause. Is it Article 1? I don't want to be specific. That says that the government has to take initiative to interpret this, to translate this constitution in all indigenous languages.
But has it done that?
Yes, it has. It has. So far around 8 or 9. At least I've seen a Lunyankore constitution.
But how many languages do we have?
Well, there are kind of many.
Yeah, seen a Lunyankore constitution. Probably if you went to Bundebujo, there's you may find a copy in Utoro, Ruwisi, or Rukonjo. Probably, I can't.
I want to ask about, and I want you to come in on the issue of why it's important to have this knowledge. But also, you're talking about rights, and rights can best be stipulated in the Book of Laws, which is the national constitution.
Yes.
But there is a way that citizens look at their constitution, especially where we live in a country where seemingly sometimes the people who are supposed to be the protectors of the constitution and the constitutionalism and the rule of law somehow use it to infringe on certain rights. For example, police, the custodians of the law, will hold someone beyond 48 hours, even when the constitution says that a person must not be held for more than 48 hours without being paraded before a competent court of law, something like that. And because of some of these incidences, we have a populace that has somehow lost trust in constitutionalism and the rule of law. I won't lie to you. I loved the constitution of this country until after a certain time in my life where I felt like certain key things in it had been removed. I won't tell you what they are. But it was amended and certain key things were removed. And I felt like, now what's the purpose? I mean, it no longer protects us. At some point, of late I've now been reading it because at my workplace, I have to teach some of it. When I train debate to students in high schools, and I realize now some debates will come up and they have to be knowing the law. So I have now to read a few things to just back up the arguments in debate and that. But Macbeth, I want you to speak about the fact that people's trust in constitutionalism and the rule of law has watered down over time, and so people do not see the reason for reading it, even where they could know these things to help them. But because there is this genome, what do you say about that?
What I would say about that is that people losing trust in the Constitution brings us back to our civil duties and responsibilities as citizenry. We have a right to promote. We have a right to promote constitutional governance. For example, I am an advocate. I am an officer of court. So I have a duty to court and a duty to society to see that people trust the laws around, because a nation without a nation where people have lost trust in the law cannot run. It is like a ship without a compass. So we really need to promote, and it's a clarion call to all of us, every literate. See to it that, because the Constitution is the supreme law, it supersedes all the other laws that we have as a country. And that's enshrined in Article 2 of our Constitution. So if you cannot trust, if you've lost trust in the Constitution, that means the state is going to be lawless, which is dangerous. So we would rather promote what we have, because, trust me, until it is overthrown or replaced, it is still the grand law of the country, And it is our duty as a citizenry to promote everything that is enshrined in the Constitution, whether we believe in it or not. And it is a duty to every citizen to actually protect the Constitution, much as we have agencies that have been entrusted to do that on behalf of Ugandans, but we have to ensure that the Constitution is not overthrown. It is our duty to protect what is enshrined in the Constitution. Because there's a belief that everything that was put in the Constitution, it is for the benefit of every Ugandan. And it is actually to our benefit to see that it's protected.
Yes, Carol.
Yes.
In your personal life, are there those moments where you felt like your knowledge in the law has limited you? Maybe because you didn't know so much about what to do in your personal life and also the people around you. Have you seen incidents where perhaps you didn't make better choices because you didn't know what the law says about that?
Yeah. It happens. I think even before these guys became lawyers, it has ever happened to them. You find that there are some decisions that you do, not because, just because you don't know the law, abiding to that, especially when it comes to the working contracts and everything. At some point, you're just signing because you need the job, but you don't have the knowledge of how far this contract can even take you, or if they terminate it, what happens, or something like that. But even in other settings, at some point, sometime, I got a challenge. That challenge was someone spoke some stupid words on me, sorry to say that, but okay, they were so unnecessary. So now I call a friend who is a lawyer. I'm like, hey, how are you? I would like to know if someone wants to open up a case on someone, what happens? Because I really want to sue someone for defamation, but I don't know the procedure. And honestly, I could not go on Google and put in that. I just needed someone who has practical knowledge on it. If maybe I had it, maybe my decision would have been quick.
So did you have evidence, a recording or something?
Yes, I did.
To back up?
Yes, I did.
That's a good starting point, I think.
Yes, I did. But what pained me is that I didn't have the information even before. Because honestly, you calling someone, okay, I know it's good to consult, but it felt so weird asking for such small information from someone. So I know everyone has had that challenge.
I also had an incident in the early years of my career. I had just started work. I was struggling a little, and the landlord wanted to throw me out of the house. These things of, so I came into this to stay in the place, and these things of you have to pay 3 months advance. So I paid them that. I think I paid them on the 4th of March. On the 4th of March. And so it was supposed to go up to 4th April, 4th May, 4th June. Yeah. So June reaches. Now, me, I am used to this kind of thing where you pay rent at the end of the month. That's what I am used to. So it reaches 4th of the month of June. My 3 months have expired. I'm not worried. The month has just begun. And then this person comes on 7th. That actually your deadline was 7th to pay the rent for this month. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to pay at the end of the month. And I don't have money. I was just started working. I don't have money. I was comfortable thinking I'm paying at the end of the month. And the person wants to throw me out. So I go and look for half the money. I bring half the money. I think it was about 75% of the money. I give it to the caretaker. The person refuses. They give me the landlord's number. I call them. The person is like, now I am throwing you out. And I had to involve my workplace to give me salary advance for me to pay, top up and then pay the month. But and those situations are quite common. It's not just me. In most cases, we get into houses, we don't know anything of tenant protection agreements. I think they are there, things like that.
True.
And now I want us to begin from there to expound more on some of these experiences that we might go through and what we would do if we knew the law. Otim.
Of course, if you knew the law, you would, I think, tread carefully. And most of the aspects, most of them have really been tried to be covered in the different statutes enacted by Parliament. Some of them may not be basic. You may need lawyer. You may need a lawyer friend to help you unpack some of them and align them to your specific, to particular facts. Yeah, so depending on an issue, just that you didn't put a disclaimer, whatever we say does not stand as a legal opinion.
Oh, yes.
Yes. You may need to consult a lawyer.
Depending on your situation.
Yeah, depending on your situation.
Yes.
What we are saying is just basic information.
Yes.
So you find that as a person, I encourage people to at least know, apart from their human rights, know basic contractual terms before entering one. Now, like you, a tenancy is also a contract because there is an offer. There's the landlord is offering you the house and you're offering rent. There's consideration. They're giving in your money. Is giving you space to sleep in. So basically, let's have basic contractual knowledge. For me, that's what I would encourage everyone to have at least. Then the rest you can consult with your lawyer. Apart from, of course, the human rights.
Yes, thank you. Before we go for the break, on Nesmas, we only think of having a personal lawyer or a family lawyer or something when we are in trouble.
True.
What's the importance of actually having someone that you don't have to wait for trouble for you to call? You know, you have a family lawyer. We think it's fancy. It's people who have money that will have maybe a family lawyer, a business lawyer, something like that.
It's always good to have a lawyer in various aspects of life because you realize the various fields we venture in. Some of you might be landlords. Some of you might be having your lands out there. And many of you actually don't make due diligence as you're going to buy land. Some of you might be having family issues here and there. But just a second before I come back to this. When I was in high school, there's something I did that law school changed me. We went to a trip in Kasese there in Western Uganda. So out of fun, I knelt down and proposed to a girl. Out of fun.
Was it really out of fun or not?
Out of fun.
High school, right?
Yeah, senior 3
It
around.
was fun.
We left school. I came to law school, second year, did a family law, did promise to marry, learned how injuring somebody's feeling can lead me into actions, actually.
Sure.
Proposing to them, giving them a ring, perhaps making them pregnant, and I leave them.
Sure.
Injuring their feelings and reducing their chances to get married again. How it can lead me to court. There's even a case we have in Uganda. I'm forgetting the name of the case, but it's there. So,
of a young man who was proposing love to an MP.
and
There's that story
really,
I heard, and the young man was sued for proposing love to an MP.
I know that's not the case, but that was there. So, now coming back to what you're telling me, it'll help you in various aspects. You consult of them before doing ABC and D. You've had your business, and the insurance company is failing to pay you. So before you go out and seek for an expert in this, your own lawyer is going to help you and guide you in every kind of action you're going to take.
But perhaps you're not even cheated by other lawyers who might take advantage of you.
Because you don't have your own person,
Yes.
they might even charge you a lot of money. So your own. And actually, what some few people are doing right now, I've had around 4 or 5 cases of the same kind. Rich people get their own kids or a relative.
Yes.
Take them to law school. Pay full tuition for them. Take them to LDC. And they tell them, what you're going to pay me is you're going to do my legal work freely.
Consulting.
I'll pay tuition and the rest. And why? Because they have a lot of transactions that they may.
Would that be taking advantage of?
Yeah, it
relative?
is, and I've seen several cases of that.
But still, at least I've opened for you a door.
You can know.
Well, I mean, you can do other things on the side, but
alongside
when I
my
need you can always
consultation.
come in. And I think that's the beauty of law. You don't have to be confined to one client, right? You can have as
Yeah,
many
true.
as. There's another important contract, the marriage contract. Do we need lawyers there? We shall answer that after the break. We'll take a quick break and we'll return shortly. beloved viewer. Welcome back from that very short break. We are looking at basic legal information everyone must be armed with. In a world where we can easily be taken advantage of or manipulated or our rights infringed upon without our knowledge, what would be the importance of having some basic legal information that we can arm ourselves with, that perhaps we are protected and we are not taken advantage of? This is the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda. Now, before we went for the break, we had hinted on the aspect of marriage. And somewhere off camera, we were discussing it and we thought we should come and continue with it right on air. We are looking at the marriage contract. Who institutes marriages? Okay, who gives the marriage certificate? Macbeth.
We have an agency. That is NERA. It's the one now responsible. Before it used to be URSB, but now the marriage section was transferred to NERA.
Yes.
So
that means
NERA
that
responsible.
the church institutes marriages on behalf of the state.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that means that if people don't go to church and they go to court and take their vows, it's a legally binding marriage. The contract is done.
Yes,
Yeah,
as long as it's a marriage that is recognized
Under the laws.
under the laws of Uganda.
So what others are recognized as marriages?
We have the Marriage Act, which guides on which marriages that we have in Uganda. We have the civil marriage. The civil marriage is that one is done at the registrar's office at NERA. If it's not done there, then at the district level, it's done before the cow. Then we have the church marriages. Now, not every church. Not every church. The church has to request to be allowed to solemnize marriages.
To become a marriage center, like
Exactly. That's why you'll find that not every church is a marriage center.
And thank you for bringing that up. There is an issue we're having a debate about some time back, the issue of a licensed marriage center and a licensed minister. We realize that in some countries they have licensed people. So they license individuals to conduct marriages for the state.
Yeah.
But then here in Uganda we have centers. We have centers. Which means, for example, in the setup of the SDA church, you can find a very beautiful SDA church, but you can't be wedded from there. And then in I think in the US and other countries, you can be wedded even by the beachside, as long as the individual is licensed to conduct it.
Even in Uganda, you can do that, but you have to write to the minister to allow you solemnize your marriage in that specific place if it's not gazetted. Yes.
So, for example, I wanted
Islamic
to go
marriage.
No,
For example, I wanted to go
even
to-
Christians. My friend wedded from a hotel.
I wanted to say my vows by the lakeside at maybe this place in Entebbe, Protea Hotel and Marriott Entebbe, and I want my vows, that background of the lake, to be there as I say my vows. How do I go about that?
So how you go about the Marriage Act guides on that if it's a place not gazetted as a marriage center in Uganda, as the place allowed to solemnize marriages from, you write to the minister. Now, the minister in this context is our Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Currently, it's Norbert Mao. So you write to the ministry and tell them that you would want to have your marriage solemnized for, let's say, a beach, like you said, and the minister will now respond to you on as to whether to allow you or not. Yes. So if it's not a gazetted place, you have to first seek permission. Because you'll have trouble having that marriage recognized by the state.
If it was not at a gazetted place, a gazetted center. So we've talked of civil, we've talked of church, and then what else?
We have marriage under the Muhammadan, that's the Islamic marriages. Then we have the Hindu marriages. They're also recognized in Uganda. We have the customary marriages.
Are those the traditional ones?
Yes.
If I go to a place, do Kwanjula, and that I pay bride price and I'm sorted. What's that called? That's traditional.
Yeah, we have the traditional the customary marriages. Yeah, now for our brothers who want to be, I don't want to say polygamous because this is an SDA channel. Yeah, that's if you do civil marriage, if you do church marriage, that's strictly monogamous. However, customary marriage allows you to have as many wives as you want.
About civil, can I say my vows before a court with more than one person? It's also monogamous.
Yeah, it's monogamous. You have to first divorce for you to enter another marriage.
If it's before a court or a church, I have to first divorce.
Yeah.
And then the other
prerequisites that come along with that: church time frame matters. 8 a.m. to 6. Civil 10 to 4. And a licensed minister.
Now,
in our church, you realize we have pastors here who are not ordained.
yes,
They
it's only
cannot
ordained
perform.
ones who perform them.
And only those ordained ones.
Now, on that note, how about people who are cohabiting? If people have been in a cohabiting relationship and the guy leaves and the lady is disappointed, is there a law that protects this
There is
young woman,
nothing.
her feelings and everything? Maybe they have cohabited for like 5 years. It was not recognized anywhere under civil, under the church, under customary, whatever. They were just cohabiting. These things we used to. No, we never used to do that. People do
So
at
there is
campus,
nothing like a law that is going to protect you.
People do at campus. I retract that
Honestly.
statement. I didn't say it. The things that young people do at campus, you've been cohabiting, and perhaps there is even there may be a child or there may not be a child, but
There
maybe
is
the young
no law.
lady feels like she has been disappointed. Where does she run to? I want to start with Onesimus.
Cohabiting is constructive marriage, though. It's not marriage. That's the plain truth. It's not. But like I was speaking earlier on, and also with the guidance of a team, there is promise to marry. That thing I was speaking of earlier on. You're not married, but for the sake of injuring somebody's feeling, I've been with Carol for 10 years. We have 2 kids, and I'm leaving her. It's not divorce because we're not legally married, but because I've reduced the chances of getting married again, at least there's some compensation that might be sought, and I promise to marry. And as also counsel team will guide on along the way, but injuring somebody's feelings and reducing the chances of getting married, you just don't walk away free. But just because other people don't know what to do when that
If I
happens.
propose to someone, got down on a bended knee and proposed to someone, and I broke the engagement, the person can actually sue me.
I'm not looking for the right word, but the things that amount to
They'll find all
to
friends.
promise to marry. The ingredients, actually, I would call
Yes.
them ingredients that amount to that.
But you see, you can cohabit with someone without promising to marry them.
True.
There is a story.
There's
I
no
had-
guarantee that the fact
me
that I'm staying with you, I promise to marry you.
There is a story I had recently.
What's wrong with men?
Men are good people.
I
There's a story I
know.
had recently of this person who paid fees for
And
a
actually
lady.
killed the lady.
I think there are very many, of course, there are very many. But this particular person, I think, even went to court. This gentleman paid fees for this lady, and the lady gets out of school and he says, "No, I can't marry you." And I think they went to court and the guy won. Do you hear of something like that?
That is the case. Actually, I was looking for that as
Yes,
that thing, but I'm forgetting the facts of that case. But that's the exact case. A couple was from Kanungu, something of a kind,
Yes.
and the lady came actually to LDC during COVID times to do a diploma in law. But I'm forgetting the facts of the case, and I'm not well acquainted. So I wouldn't want to give facts that I'm not so sure of, apparently, because I've not read it in a while. But that's the exact case where now it was the guy who was compensated, not even the lady.
If
Men are bad people.
If the contract was
Women
entered
as well.
on the facts that I'm taking you to school on promise that you're going to get married to me,
Yes.
That is different.
that would be a contract.
Yeah.
According to my understanding, that would be a contract because my offer is I'm going to pay your tuition.
You give me
What are you
kids.
giving me in return? You're getting married to me. So if you don't get married to me, you're breaching a contract that we entered into earlier with your consent. So that would be a contract.
Okay.
But me being in a relationship with you, okay, we are cohabiting, but you've not promised me anything. It is just love.
But
Binding.
It is
Guys.
deception, not love.
something that I
God.
want our viewers to know what
bad
Council has said.
people.
A contract can also be oral.
And how do you quantify that before court? An oral contract, if you don't have any evidence to back it up, and we've gone to court. And actually, that has happened not just in relationships, but you've had someone coming and, but it's the truth. But the person promised,
Where is that?
but there's no recording, there's no anything written,
No corroborating evidence.
no any evidence. How do we help such people, especially when we are dealing with illiterate or people who are not so educated on that. No recording whatsoever. How do we help such people when they have to come before courts?
Yes, there can be implied terms to our working relationship. For example, you will have a maid. This maid is doing your work at home, and everyone knows that that maid is not your relative. They're actually offering services, and in return, you're giving them some money.
Yes.
It may not be written, but the fact that this person is working at your place every at the end of every month, and you're paying them something, that is enough to establish that there's a non-written agreement between the two of you. They're offering services, and in exchange, you're paying them some money. So the fact that this person has maybe stayed in your place for 2 years or a year is enough to establish a working relationship between the two of you. Because what we shall examine is, what is your relationship? This person will say, I've been here as a worker. Then we'll ask the boss, have you been advancing any money to them? Yes. For what? So even if there is no written contract, a contract can be established according to your actions. That's what we call implied terms. Express terms is something written, then the implied according to your actions. You can act like there's a contract.
Let's go to the issue of work. And I think that's why most young people have issues. We have incidences of people who are being underpaid or very many things altogether, and maybe their contracts are terminated without prior notice or something like that, without prior compensation or something like that. But also we have incidents where things like you're already working, things like payments, or NSSF, and the pay as you earn. Those are mandated by law, right? Assuming I am working for a company now, I know people who are working, like people have their degrees or something, qualifications, and they are working, and the workplace, there's nothing like remittance of NSSF. They just pay them cash. Which I think is defrauding this person who is working, because NSSF is their security, and this workplace is just giving them cash, which means there's even government tax is being defrauded, because it means their pay as you earn is not going. But let's first put that aside. There can be a legal basis when pay as you earn is not being paid. But how about things like NSSF that directly benefit the person who was entitled to them? Do they have protections in the law?
Yeah, the law definitely protects all the workers who are supposed to get NSSF. We have the NSSF Act, which actually guides on how this NSSF is supposed to be remitted. Your employer contributing 10% for you, and 5%. Yeah, then your 5%. And actually, if that is not done, your employer is in breach of the law.
I can actually sue them.
You can actually. NSSF has a fully equipped legal department, so you can whistleblow. Yes. To NSSF.
I also wanted you to talk more about that whistleblowers thing, where I can report something without coming out publicly, and I know I'm protected.
Yes. You can whistleblow to NSSF, and NSSF will take on this employer of yours legally to enforce that the employer actually pays your NSSF. There is a case for protection. I will not mention the parties. These people actually had their employer compensate them for all the number of years that had been working. Yeah, NSF took them on, and it was and when NSF won the case, court ordered that the employer pays the workers NSSF for all the years that had been under them.
But also we have you want
just,
to come in, Carol?
Yeah, just to say something about that. In most cases, some organizations actually don't want to pay NSSF. True. Especially when you're on a short contract, when they give you short contracts. They don't want to burden themselves because they see that's a lot of money, and they don't want to commit themselves on paying NSSF for you. So in the contract that they give you, they make it clear. They tell you that we don't have benefits, like NSSF benefits, health insurance benefits. Those are on you. And if you find, in most cases, you find that most people who work for NGOs and are on short-term contracts actually don't earn NSSF. People who are earning NSSF are these people who have full-time jobs, and of which they are the minority. So I think that something has to be done around that area. Because honestly, a lot of people are not earning NSSF.
People are being defrauded of their future.
Most of the people.
I heard of a story of some NGO, actually not just one, a number of them, which actually rely on that guise of handling people, hiring people on contract basis. And eventually realize they have gone like 5 years and they have maybe they have work which is done by 20 people, but they only have 5 on full contract, the core critical stuff. Then the rest of the people, they hire them on short-term basis, like 6 months, and you go. And that's their system. But by the end of the day, their work is progressing, but people are being taken advantage of and manipulated like that.
And most
are there protections for such people? But also more to that, I know some companies that actually don't have any contracts. Institutions, schools, health facilities that employ people on private basis, they receive nothing like a contract. And we live in a country where young people are desperate. Young people are very desperate. A young graduate is looking for a job, and he finds this job, they are going to be giving him some maybe 700K, but there's nothing like, let's write anything. His job is not, it was just agreeing, okay, we'll give you a job.
And at the end of it all, you just without you having anything to say, you just wake up and you're sacked from that job.
And you have nowhere to begin from.
We have a labor officer that workers need to know. And like what Council team was saying, people don't speak up. And people even don't know that even NSSF is their own money. They're just ignorant, and some, if you speak up, they'll sack you. So they find comfort in remaining their zones, not speaking up, and they take advantage of them. But my answer would be, let them go and speak up to NSSF, and let NSSF now do the task of. And in case they sack them, then let them speak to the labor officer, because the law provides that section of the labor officer who come on ground in other aspects besides now the NSF and the rest to look at how your working environment and the rest. And the task is not even to speak who gave us the news, to come to clarify the working environment. Is it safe? If people are working and they need gumboots and the environment is dirty, what can we do for them? So people should speak up to NSF and let NSF now do the task. And also they should use the advantage of the labor officer who is in charge of the labor work they're doing.
And one thing I have liked with these donor-funded projects that come up, those donors have regulations and policies. They'll always tell you, give us a list of people who are on NSSF benefit. That is a must, whether you like it or not, provided it's donor funded. The money is not from the government of Uganda. They'll always ask, because at the end of it all, what for them they believe in is they want everyone on the project
to benefit.
Their
livelihoods
should improve from where they have found them to a better place. So because of that, you find that most organizations are like, we shall not hire people. Let's take these ones who are full-time, who are already on the NSSF benefit. Such that, because if we hire more people, it means that a lot of money is going to go to the other side, and more expenses are going to come in. But what I like, if the government of Uganda and maybe any other companies could adopt such a system, that let it be something that you... Because at the end of it all, I'll have security that even when I leave this job, at least I have a starting point at the end of it all. Even if I'm retiring with something. But there are very many people who have worked for 20 years, and you ask them, do you have an NSSF? And they're like, what is it? What is that? They don't have any security. And at the end of it all, they're retiring with nothing. And even those people, okay, I love it that NSSF tried to reduce on the years of you can access you can access your money, half of it before that retirement age, which is very good.
There's another beautiful provision whereby if you at some point you happen to get government payroll, can actually go and claim your money at whatever point. That one is
Yeah, and you go on the government payroll. But also, I've loved a lot of ventures that NSSF has brought, even for these minorities.
Smart
That
flex. I
yeah,
think,
the
where they
flexi.
can save as long as 5K
Exactly.
per day.
Yeah.
But not 5K per day, but you can save as low as 5K.
5,000.
And you don't need to have a company that is employing you. This is just on your
Yeah,
own.
it's personal, individual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our time is fast spent. But I want us to talk about the importance. Now, courts mainly operate on evidence-based. One thing I learned from it's not just about law is court, how they operate. It's not more of the truth. It's about more of who presents more compelling evidence. Yeah, so you have a person who committed a crime, but because the other person didn't bring enough evidence to have the person convicted, the person is going to get away with it. Now, the beauty of having written agreements and maybe recordings or anything like that in all our dealings, let's talk about that and how people can go about it to ensure they're on the safe side.
For me, I always encourage document everything. Let everything be documented. Even if, and actually, our courts have even reduced the degree to the extent that a mere WhatsApp conversation can actually form
Be
a contract.
brought in as
yes, it can be brought in as evidence
That is
to
good.
establish a contract. So write everything. Let everything be documented so that when things go south one day, you have somewhere to reference.
You have a backup.
Yes, and present before court or before your HR. Maybe if you're seeking redress before the internal mechanism of the company, you have something to show that you actually had this conversation and this is what that person said. This is what you agreed on, so that you are not left out in the dark when things go south. It's for your own safety that you document everything.
Things like leave. That's something we rarely talk about. But it's actually, I think people are entitled to such things.
Yeah.
And yet I know some companies that don't give people that. Like you can't take any time off.
That is exploitation now.
People are getting exploited, but we have provisions for leave. Even a man has a provision for leave when a woman gives birth.
Yeah, you're given.
But many
Even
don't
men can
even
get
know.
maternity leave.
Yeah,
Yes.
paternity leave.
It's
Paternity
there.
leave. How long is it?
It's
It's,
for 4 days.
No.
4 days.
It's not 3 months. It is.
For women.
It is 3 days.
For women, it's 3 months. For
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
it's 3 days.
Yeah.
3-4 days
Ah,
around.
3-4
should have been
days.
3 weeks.
For what? Are you going to breastfeed a baby?
But you're not
He's
Nancy.
going to buy the diapers.
But a woman is
When
given
they want
3
to
months.
Okay. Oh, that's quite interesting, though, that it's actually there. How many would claim it?
Yeah, you at least give that emotional support to your wife.
But again, there are some clauses that may not be given to you in the contract, but
Yes.
as long as they're enshrined to you in the Employment Act,
Yes.
they're taken to be your entitlements.
So
it
you
may
mean
not be
that-
in your contract,
yes.
but as long as it's in the Act, it's your
There are
entitlement.
things
You can
we have
claim
to
it.
acquaint ourselves with. eh?
Exactly.
Year leave and in a year, everyone is entitled to have a leave.
Even working hours.
Leave.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
There's the issue of working hours.
7 to 8.
There's that issue of work leave, working on public holidays. At least if you work on public holidays, there's certain elements that should be extended to you by your employer. All
Sick
those
leave.
things are in the Employment Act, but like we said, some of these things, to align them to your facts, you may need a legal personnel. You have to consult a lawyer formally, and
right.
they advise you.
Oh, by the
people also
finance.
need to
How
sign.
expensive is it now? Like me, I am just a professional, slightly at entry level, but I'm growing. If I want a personal lawyer, how much? What would that take?
To be honest with you, our economy, not so many can afford a personal lawyer. But at least be nice to your lawyer friend. Like Edson, my friend.
The saying
Be
goes,
nice to me.
Yes.
Macbeth, there is a saying that says, in your life, you have to have some important people in your life as your friends. A doctor, a lawyer, a teacher.
A teacher.
3 people. At least have those people close.
By the way,
In
I
case
had,
of anything,
I had a
therefore you can-
health-related issue somewhere last year, and the fees were not as much because I had a doctor as a friend. I kept consulting with him, which even reduced my consultation fees because I kept going to the facility. And then even the cost of operation was cut down.
Yeah.
And I imagine what I would have done if I
you
didn't
had
have
no
him.
one. It
Because
would
I would have
be
gone to
very
consult
expensive.
at a hospital where I didn't know anyone, and I would have been charged a lot of
Exactly.
money.
So just like how you have a doctor, you can have Macbeth as your
Your
very
personal person.
personal person.
And I think with law, it's not with medicine. For example, a person who is a family member can't operate on you, your wife, your spouse, you can't. But law, it's not limited. Anyone
Anyone
can
can
defend
be,
you.
yeah. As long as they have no conflict.
as long
of
as they have
interest.
no conflict of interest whatsoever in that.
Yes.
Okay. Any final shots before we close this up?
My final shot would be I call upon everyone, please document everything. Have a lawyer friend near you. So because it is cheaper. It is cheaper to hire a lawyer before things go bad. Because when things go bad, it is very expensive.
You are desperate.
To
have
get
to
services
get out of it
a
by
lawyer.
all means.
Yes. That would be my last word to the viewer.
Yes, Carol.
2026 should be a year for you to learn more about the law and anything that concerns about your rights or anything concerning you as yourself. Let's embrace learning, and more so learning about things that can affect us, especially the rights that we have as citizens of Uganda. Thank you.
Yes.
Ignorance of the law is not a defense, and I want to beseech people that they should know their rights and their laws. It's going to help them as they live in this world today.
Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for your time and for having been part of this discussion. And I am sure that our viewers out there have learned something for themselves. It's very important. We can't keep ourselves in the dark. We are supposed to know these things so that we don't remember to arm ourselves with them when it is too late. Learn something this new year. Make it a point to know about most of these basic things that you can be able to sail through life easily. For myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, it's been a pleasure having you with us. See you next time.